Welcome everybody, this is Jason and the name of this week's workshop is Frankenmesh Part 2. This is a continuation of last week's workshop. We're looking at frankenmeshing or putting together components from two or more different meshes. Frankenmeshing is the practice of taking components from two or more meshes and putting them together to create a new mesh. So far, what we've done is extract the max's resources and put together the two parts into one mesh. What do we have left to do? We have to create the morphs using a morphing action and rebuild the mesh. We have to create a recolor and link the mesh to the recolor. And finally, we're doing in-game testing today. So the first thing that we're going to need is a full body texture for the entire mesh. So what we'll do, we would open both textures in Photoshop, and with the marquee tool, we select the top half of the sweatshirt. We don't need the board shorts because that's not a part of the mesh. So we just select the texture, the top part of the sweatshirt texture, and then we go to the pants texture and we just paste in place, Control Shift V if you're in Photoshop, so that it's pasting exactly where it was on the other map and you don't need to remap anything. Then once you've done that, you just save the texture as a PNG. We need to see how the texture looks on the meshes. So we open Milkshape and then we open the mesh that we created. Then in the 3D viewport, right click and make sure that you have textured selected in the drop down. And then in transparency, make sure that it's set to depth buffered with alpha reference. Then select both of your groups in the Groups tab. Go to the Materials tab. Then you would click on the New button, and then the first None button. Click that and go to your Projects folder and load up your texture. So with that texture loaded up, that material selected, we would assign, and it's going to assign the texture to both of the meshes. If we look at the mesh in 3D viewport, it should look something like this. So it's assigned, and it's got the pants part is assigned to the pants and the sweatshirt part is assigned to the sweatshirt. So that looks pretty good. Now that the texturing is done, we would need to move on to the morphing. So in morphing, we would, with both of the groups selected, we just regroup, and it's going to rename it to something like regroup 1. In the text box where it says regroup 1, just erase that and write group underscore base and then click rename. Then we would go to File, Export TSRW object, and export the WSO action to your project folder. So we open Mesh Toolkit. We go to Auto WSO. Then we select the sub-tab Auto Create Morphs. The morph that we exported, the combined hoodie and rave pants, that is our WSO Mesh 2 morph. So we select that, and then we would select a morphing action such as Aquilegia's morph actions. I have included a link to some of those in the resource post. So we load up hoodie rave pants, and then we load up the morphing action, and we select create morph mesh groups. We export that to our project folder. But I wouldn't rename it the same thing. I would rename it something like hoodie rave pants morphs. In Milkshape, we delete all of the groups. So we just got the bare skeleton. Then we go import TSRW object, and we import the morphed mesh. Now we can see there are 3 groups when you first import. There's group underscore base, group underscore fat, group underscore special. So the first group, we rename that body. And then for the comments in body, we go modeling body, opacity -1, has tangent array nothing, num skin weight 3, morph ref number 0. We put those in the comments for body. Then we rename the second group tilde 00 morph mod.1. And then in the comments for morph mod 1, we put morph names bot morphs fatbot. Then that third group, we name that tilde00 morph mod.2. And then in the comments for that, we put bot morphs or morph names colon bot morphs pregbot. Then we save our work. From here, the last step, we go File, Export Sims to Unimesh Exporter, and we export the whole thing. We give it a unique name. Now, once we have exported the mesh, we need to build a new mesh. So we go to a simple mesh that only has one group. The underwear are really good for that. We select one of those and we just export as we normally would when we're creating a body shop recolor. And then we re-import it to the game. We just give it a unique name, import it, and that will end up in our Save Sims folder. So now we open SimPE. We go New, we go File, New, then we select that new resource and we go PJSE, Body Mesh Tools, Extracting Stage. We click on the Browse button. Then we go to our Save Sims folder where we exported this new recolor. We select that recolor and we click OK. What that's going to do is going to extract the scene graph from that recolor. It's going to build a GMDC, GMND, crest, and shape. We select the GMDC in the resource tree and once again in the resource list. On that GMDC, we right click and we select replace from the drop down. And then you're going to see this pop up here. The resource was changed. Should SimPE reload it? You just click yes. That's going to replace the GMDC with the mesh that we just created. We select Tools, Object Tools, Fix Integrity. When the Scene Graph Rename Wizard pops up, we just rename our mesh like so. And we update and then we click OK. Now, because I am a little bit extra, I like to take an extra step. I will, once I've done that, I will open the mesh in Scene Graph Plus. I will rename the crest and then I will go down and rebuild all of the child resources of the crest. There's an option there. It just says rename to parent SG. And then I save it. What this does, it gives you a nice clean scene graph so you don't have as many issues when you go into the game. It's not as necessary with clothes, but I like to use this step especially with accessories. So once you've built the mesh, copy that mesh to your Save Sims folder, then you open SimPE, you open the recolor file. Select the 3 IDR in the resource tree, then once again in the resource list. With that 3 IDR selected, we go Tools, PJSE, Body Mesh Tools, Linking Stage. And you immediately get this pop-up. Just click OK. Then you get this second pop-up. In the second pop-up, you just click OK. Then you save the recolor, and you're ready to go. As a final step, select the TXTR in the resource tree, and then once again in the resource list. Then in the TXTR plugin, right-click and select Build DXT, and what we're looking for is the texture that we created. So we load up that texture like so by clicking the link for Open Image. Make sure that it's DXT3, there's no sharpen filter, and we build. We build, we commit, we save, and we're ready to test in game. So we load up the outfit, we put the outfit on the sim, and a good way to make sure that it works in game is to have the sim jump up and down on the couch. That really puts the joint assignments through their full range. And if it's to your liking, you're good to go. And if not, you can edit the mesh later. Hey folks, Jason here. Sorry to do this again, but my OBS settings were still messed up. My recording, my mic came in really low, and the desktop audio, the workshoppers who were in the live presentation didn't come in at all, so I didn't capture their questions. And so, yeah, it's going to be really short and to the point again this week. I'm going to leave in the steps because those came out fairly well, but yeah, I'm sorry to the live workshoppers. The audio got messed up again. I will try to get it dialed in a little bit better for next week. And that's it for now. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Niamh. Bye bye. Okay, so to get started, just grab those two textures, and with the hoodie texture open, just go ahead and grab the top with the marquee tool like that. Go ahead and copy that. Oh, I did not. I need to zoom in a bit. I was missing just a little tiny bit from the sleeve. So just grab that, copy it, then hop over to the other texture and Control Shift V, paste it right over the top of the texture like that. Let's save that as a PNG. And I'll give this a different name because I don't want to overwrite these. I'm going to call this Hoodie Baggy Pants. So we go to Milkshape, open, and let's open the file that says frankenmesh. It should look something like this for you. Now, in the 3D viewport, right click, make sure that you have textured here. And then in transparency, make sure that it's set to depth buffered with alpha reference, just like so. Then we go over here, we select both groups. We go to the materials tab, we click new. Then the none, we just click the none box, and oh, I'm in the wrong folder. Dest. We go to the texture that we just created, the hoodie baggy pants, and we assign. And then I'm going to expand the 3D viewport so I can get a good look at my mesh. Now we hop back over to groups. With both groups selected, regroup. And then we rename group base. Then go File, Export, TSRW Object. And I'm going to call this Frankie. We go to Auto Tools for, we open Mesh Toolkit. We go to Auto Tools for WSO. Then we need to select Auto Create Morphs in the sub tab here. And it says WSO Mesh to Morph. So we select a file. And I'm going to load Frankie. And then the reference WSO mesh. Okay, so meshing toolkit. We select what we want to morph. We select the template that we're going to use to create the morphs. That we click create morph mesh groups. So we load everything up. We create morph mesh groups, and I'm going to rename mine Frankie Morphs. Okay. Now, we go back to Milkshape. We delete what's there. Then we import TSRW object and the one that we morphed. And now we've got 3 morphs. What we're going to do here, hop back over to Milkshape, group base, we rename that body. Then click your comment button with body selected and grab this first paragraph here. Copy that, paste it here. Okay, then grab this first tilde here, 00 morph mods 1, go to the group fat box, paste the name and rename it. Then back over to quick copy notes and morph names, bot morphs fatbot, copy, and then we go to the comments for this one here. We go to comment and we paste it. Then select group special. We select this line here, morphmod.2, paste, rename, and finally we grab morph names, bot morph pregbot, copy that, go into the comments, just like that. Going to save that once more. Then once you've done all that, go to File, Export, Sims 2 Unimesh Exporter version 4.09, and I'm going to call that hoodie baggy pants. To get started in Body Shop, we go create parts, start a new project, create clothing, and let's go male. And I'm grabbing something easy that I know only has one group, so I'm grabbing underwear. So I export it like so. Give it a project name like, oh, that's too long. Call it Frankie Testo 1. How about that? Then unselect underwear. We'll make this every day. And we just import that back into the game. And that's all we're doing in Body Shop. Okay, so in SimPE, we go File, New, Tools, PJSE, Body Mesh Tool, Extracting Stage. Then we click the Browse button. And go to your Save Sims folder, and you're looking for this package file here, the one that we just created. We open, and it's going to pull 4 resources for us. So we go to GMDC. We select it in the resource tree and again in the resource list. We right-click, replace. And we go to our frankenmesh folder, and we select the one that we exported from Milkshape. You can see it's only got one group. It says body. Give that a quick preview. Let me make that a little bit bigger. And that looks pretty good. Commit. Then we go Tools, Object Tools, Fix Integrity. give it a unique scene graph name here. Click the update link. Okay. And it will update all of the resources. Then File, Save As, and I'm going to save this mesh right here in my frankenmesh folder. I'm calling this. And this is just me, but best practice, always name your mesh. Begin with mesh dash or mesh underscore so that you can identify it. Just give it a mesh name like so. And let's close out of SimPE for just a bit. Now, what I like to do and what I would recommend to creators, it's not necessary as much for close, but I like to open Scene Graph Plus. And let's go to our folder. We grab that mesh and let's see what's going on here. So we rename that scene graph, and what that's going to do, if there are more than one scene graph with the same name, this will give it it allows you to give it a unique name, and it allows you to build the scene graph so that all of the resources recognize the parent. So we rename the crest, then we select the shape, right click, copy SG name from parent. We do the same thing with the GMND, and we do the same thing with the GMDC. Then we just save all. Okay, let's reboot SimPE. And while we're doing that, I'm going to take frankenmesh, the mesh that I just created, dump that in my saved sims. Then, with SimPE started, we go to our saved sims folder. Let's grab the recolor, the one that says Frankie Test 01. We select the 3 IDR in the resource tree, in the resource list. With the 3 IDR selected, we go Tools, PJSE, Body Mesh, Linking Stage. You get this pop-up here. Just click OK and select the mesh package. Then you get a second pop-up that says OK. That's fine. From here, we can just save. One more step. Go to texture. Oh, this one has a bump map I didn't even notice. So select the TXTR in the resource tree, the one that says body, not the one with the normal map, here in the resource list. Then we go. In the plugin, we right click and select build DXT. And then let's upload that texture that we created. Just like that. Now we can save it. Hey folks, just another short disclaimer. During the live workshop, I cloned an underwear that had a bump map. In the live workshop, we took some time to fix it, but since it's not super relevant to the task, to doing frankenmeshing, I trimmed that bit from the video, and so I'm sorry it does end kind of abruptly. Okay, so we've got our dude in his new outfit, and let's have him jump on the couch. This is Digi glued me into this. So basically, a good way to test phone assignments, just to have them jump on the couch. Yeah. Yeah. See, this one just right there on the seam, it does clip a little bit. I can live with it. It's not a bad looking outfit. See, we slow him way down, and we can really.
Fala! Sa kapalap!
What's going on there? Yeah, there's a little tiny hole. Can't see it. Yeah. If you have a look at it, there's just a little tiny hole there. Yeah, maybe if I draw the hem. No, yeah, just grab that whole loop there where the hem is, pull it down just a little bit, and maybe scale it in, and that would hide that. But that's fine tuning that you would do after you put the mesh together and see how it works. Overall, it's not bad. And that's it for this one, for this workshop.